here we're very lucky. We have the pith instructions. We have the heart essence of all Dharma. Getting right to it. In these times that we're living in, I feel like we can't really mess around for 10, 20 years anymore with Tantra. And start, you know, starting to come to a point where we can depend on our awareness stronger than any gurus or um, any external sources. So, yeah, that's why in this group, the awareness practice is primary rather than anything else. So, Sterling asking what the text is, and this is The Way of Abiding. It's one of probably my number one favorite text. It's by Longchen, this yogi who lived in the 1300s and really synthesized and preserved a lot of Dzogchen. And so this goes through four themes. So basically, our mind here, this presence, has four qualities, presence being one of them. Um, there's also the quality of being beyond the intellect, beyond imputation. As Dorje Legpa said, beyond phenomenon being pinned down. I think there's a union in that, that uh, there's a freedom from labels and meaning, which typically we would refer to as ineffability, but there's also this sense of physicality and reification and solidity starting to unpin. It's a great word. So, in that, you have ineffability, and naturally, when you unhook yourself, there's then openness, spaciousness of the mind. And this spaciousness can encompass the moon and the sun, all right? So if you need to take a walk in the nature, if you need to just put your device, your computer away a little bit so you can embrace that, allow your mind to, well, rest in that spaciousness aspect of your own mind. You see, it's like taking a bath in the great bath water of existence. And this can be the incredibly healing part, really on physical levels, what they call somatic levels. There's energy coming out, popping out, steaming off of you as you rest in open awareness. So various psychic boundaries start to come down that we have established within our so-called reality. We have many, like even the idea of walls and a floor and a ceiling could be psychic boundaries. But befriending the elements as part of your mind, so you're resting in this awareness that's greater than the atmosphere, okay? It's really open, spacious mind of yours. It encompasses all the elements. So all phenomena, all sounds, all feelings, all thoughts. It's the nature of everything. And we access it by calling it awareness, but we can peel that label off too as soon as possible. That's why we have the four phases here in the group that can be very helpful as a guideline. Are you still using the label awareness? Are you still becoming friends with self knowing awareness? That's the self knowing part. It's cognizance, self knowing cognizance. So, this word awareness can diversify into many meanings of mind, like like pure consciousness. Yeah, pure presence is a wonderful one. All right, so the third great quality that this book is about is pure presence, actually. So that's great timing, Maya. And then the last one is oneness. So I just described how our mind can be like space, like the atmosphere, all encompassing, and to include all phenomena. And that's a kind of oneness because even in your dreams, you can verify this. How no matter what you're dreaming about and how it's going down, your mind will always be there, holding everything. And there's a fearlessness in that. Um, you can never die, right? Because your mind won't let you. The mind won't die. It will continue to express itself with this energy that we call reality. So, anyway, those are the four great Dzogchen Samayas: ineffability, spaciousness, pure presence, and oneness. And of course, as you see here, we're on the theme of ineffability. It's a 2008 edition of this text, translated by Lama Chokinima. from wood blocks. So, apparent objects are understood to be clearly apparent yet ineffable, and have never been mind or anything other than mind. Being empty, yet clearly apparent, groundless, and timelessly pure. When freedom occurs, the dynamic energy and display in being groundless are naturally pure, which is like awakening from a dream. Thus, one should understand that self-knowing awareness, without ever having wavered from its original state of natural rest, unchanging Dharmakaya, is uncontaminated by any substance or characteristics. These days, in the 1300s, no, I always find that funny when they say these days and it's a text from like 500 years ago. So these days, no one other than me makes such distinctions. Some hold apparent phenomenon to be mind, others hold them to be something else, but they have no opinions other than these. I just want to comment, this is still happening in modern days. So Longchen had quite a bit of foresight there. Now we just think brain centric. We automatically assume duality. So when we study science, when we study psychology, which, in this modern time is very young, we're always assuming the duality. And we're always assuming that our mind is not highly involved. I don't even want people to assume or speculate that it's totally involved. Just give it credit that it's like, we can prove in psychology and physics that it's very much involved in this reality. Why don't we account for that? Why do we divide ourselves? It's just like Longchen here. Nobody has any opinions. It seems like even when you start watching these modern gurus and everything, they never come down to it. Even Donald Hoffman, I love reading his material and his conclusions are fascinating, but he never just really comes into the fact that, wow, this could all be mind. So even people in my own school are not precise because they accept that which arises as dynamic energy, display, and adornment to be the essence. Yeah, this is the three different divisions. So in Semde it's dynamic energy, and Longde it's the adornment. Oh, excuse me, Semde would be the display. They have them mixed up. Semde would be the display, Longde would be the adornment, and then Menkagde would be the dynamic energy. And here Longchen is basically saying they're all three there. There can all three be correct. At a certain point, we can loosen up about the semantics. Thank You're a good boy. Come here. You're a good boy, buddy. You did a good boy. So the main issue, I just repeated from last session, is the same. Is that people think the reflex? I guess this is an issue, and of course it is. For most sentient beings, we believe that the reflections in the mirror are mind. So we see our brain, we see our body, and this is just the energy of the mind. But we assume this brain, this body, and this creation, uh, that's what mind is. But it's very limiting. That would be like having a dream and then assuming that you sitting here in the dream, that's your mind. Okay, I'll give another example. Maybe you're playing with some dogs in a dream. Well, if you all of a sudden became aware and said, wow, I love playing with dogs, my mind is so happy. Well, that assumption right there is assuming that the dream mind is the mind. So yes, you may be happy playing with these dogs, but that's still just the dynamic energy. So even this positioning of a reference point, this idea of a self in this reality right now, is also energy. Of course, it's all energy, right? Hey, Tank, come here. I'll go check it out. Don't worry. He's function of mind versus substance of mind. Yeah, and I think even the function is a substance of mind in a way. Okay, but the clear distinction that we can make, we can verify, that we can bark about. Tank, come here. Tank, hey, Tank, come here, big good boy. It must be. I saw some lights over there. Yeah, there's a car about 10 miles away. Serious situation. Yeah, I think you all get it. Hold on a second. Tank, come here. Tank. It's okay. It's okay, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here. Tank, it's a car, bud. It must be that full moon energy. All right. Yeah, I think you guys are getting it though, and that is a important distinction, so you don't get bogged down in this relativity, so to speak, into the display. So I don't know how the translation is going to unfold here, but as long as you understand that difference between the reflections in the mirror and the mirror itself, then I think you'll understand the whole everything that's being said here. So in this regard, dynamic energy is the creative potential of awareness and accounts for the fact that samsara and nirvana arise differently, just as the very same ray of sunlight causes a lotus to blossom and open and a night lily to close. Display is used in the sense of the radiance of awareness displaying itself, like a lamp displaying itself as light, or the sun displaying itself as sunbeams. Adornment refers to the fact that naturally manifest phenomenon, appearing in full array, arise of themselves as adornment in light of awareness. This is similar to rainbows, the sun and moon, stars, and planets being adornments of the sky, of space. I don't know why they said sky there. Sun and moon are adornments of space. There's no sky in space. Okay, so moreover, concerning these terms, the all illuminating sphere states the essence of dynamic energy is unceasing. Unceasing, non dual, and richly endowed, I have shown these to be the essence of display. Yeah, I want that, for those yogis who are going this far, that are truly breaking through to the other side. Your mind is like an endless sun, except instead of a sphere, it's like space. It's volumetric. I know we're only intellectualizing this now, but I want to break down any psychic boundaries, any heavy kind of analytical doubt that people may have. Start to embrace the fact that your mind can be all encompassing, can be volumetric. It can be naturally like that as we release into it, you see? And it will always have energy, it will always have cognizance, and it will always be empty of any substantial reference point. So those three kayas are natural to your mind. But that display, that Nirmanakaya display of your mind will never cease. That's why taking your own life is not a good option as far as the Dharma is concerned. It does not end the energy of your mind. That's why people have to go through suffering a lot of times, and short lives, long lives, because this is kind of all within the mind. And just endless and then we get hooked into our own display, and we reify a reality, a dualistic reality, just like a moth is so attracted to the light, but the fire could kill that moth. And that's what happens. We're flying into the light of our own mind, and then it kills us. Oh, because everything is impermanent, right? And transient when we start to reify and hold on to it. But if you see that this is an unceasing display of mind, the luminosity of your mind is like that, and so are all sentient beings, well then, welcome to the ineffable nexus of magnificence. can be quite nice there. So the same source further states, therefore, beauty is referred to as adornment. Yeah, and that word beauty is all inclusive. You'll see it everywhere, even when you take a dump, right? So, with these related topics, I have finished demonstrating my point. Now, it is shown that awareness itself has never existed as anything. And so, just as apparent objects are ineffable by nature, the nature of awakened mind, which perceives them, is in essence ineffability, like that of space. Know this to be beyond description, imagination, or expression. Yes, so it says all those are the root verses there. It says all objects are ineffable by nature. The nature of awakened mind which perceives them is in essence ineffability. Very good. So the commentary will state the essence of awareness, the ground for the arising of the world of appearances and possibilities, whether of samsara or nirvana, has never existed as anything, and so is like space. See, space is a very useful analogy in that regard. The all-creating monarch states, awakened mind, its nature is that of space. All phenomenon are awakened mind, and the metaphor is that their nature is like space, the universal metaphor. The universal metaphor, yes. The very essence of ineffability is present in the following way. The root verses, in naturally occurring, timeless awareness, the ultimate heart essence, there is no causality, so the abyss of samsara is crossed. There is no better or worse, so samsara and nirvana are an integrated mandala. There is no error or obscuration, so the three planes of conditioned existence are seen through incisively. They might be talking about the three spheres of conception there. So the commentary says there is no causality in the essence of awareness as such, naturally lucid in all its nakedness, and so the pitfall of samsara and the abyss of happiness and suffering are timelessly crossed. Yeah, so naturally lucid is a very important term there. We can start to settle into our whole mind, all right? That lucid mind is verified through practices like dream yoga or deep meditation. You can really verify that. You don't need to have any blind faith or guess about the dimensions of your mind, how it can be more subtle and more powerful. But our mind, to come into that, there cannot be all this surface doing. So while the whole of samsara occurs due to the unceasing manner in which causes and effects manifest, awareness and its very essence never existed as any cause or effect. Remember, all causes and effects are within your awareness. For this reason, it has no error or obscuration, no quality of better or worse. So whatever manifests, samsara or nirvana, constitutes an integrated mandala in light of awareness. In actuality, this has never existed, and so one's mind is at ease. Within the scope of awareness, which has never existed as anything, it makes no difference what arises and abides therein, for everything is timelessly free and never having known existence. This being so, it is simply a matter of remaining in the realization of that in all its immediacy. Ha! There's the great secret, everybody. Secret to success. It says that being so, it's simply a matter of remaining in the realization of that in all its immediacy. So that means not getting dragged away by thoughts. They're very tempting. It's very tempting to fantasize about something, ruminate about things, And yeah, maybe it's a phase and it feels good for a while for you, but eventually you'll start to see that there's something way better than immediacy of pure presence. And you'll notice this. If you see something attractive, you'll start to think about, oh, what would it be like to have that? And da 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 da. This is a kind of just pulling you into some sorrow right there in front of your face. So, other than this, although one might spaciously posit, is that spaciously? Speciously. You're gonna have to help me out, everybody. New word. I know I'm getting that right. Speciously. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Species. Oh, like a species. Got it. Speciously. All right, thank you. So, other than this, although one might speciously posit something to be Buddhahood, in actuality, nothing whatsoever has improved, because there has been no wavering from what is, like space, fundamentally unconditioned. Yeah, we talked about that before, how realization itself is illusion, it's illusory. That's going very far into yogi territory. So, if you can embrace that point, it's a true letting go of that ego. Many gurus, many practitioners, many yogis get caught up in I realized something. Well, your realization was a complete fraud in the eyes of ultimate truth. All right. I'm not trying to be unkind. So deep immersion in awareness, composed by the master Garab Dorje, states, given evenness in which objects are not conceptualized and mind is not reified, body and mind dwell as a matter of course in the expanse of that evenness. Regardless of how awareness appears to arise as a matter of course, there is no wavering from this expanse of evenness. Objects with characteristics have no existence as objects, for there is abiding in a state of deep immersion. Ah, yes, this deep immersion, as your preoccupations and fabrications and ruminations and fantasizations and all these start to peel away, well, what's left there is the natural state, you see? And basically the jhanas, the bhumis, all that is happening as things peel away in an asymmetrical uh, kind of weaving together. Yes, you'll have peeling away of various conditioning happening, and then next thing you know, you don't find yourself so lazy or so prideful or so anxious, and things start to soften and disperse. So timelessly there is no duality, and so no distinctions can be made. No distinctions can be made between ordinary beings and Buddhas, between samsara and nirvana. Yes, this is very radical, okay, to see all beings as equal to you in Buddhahood. This means no more hierarchy, no more I'm better than them. But at the same time, you get a great freedom in that. So let me check here to. Oh, yes, specious. Seemingly well reasoned or factual. Ah, but actually fallacious and insincere, strongly held but false. Isn't that how it is, everybody? We strongly hold our internal convictions, don't we? This is exactly how beliefs work. We believe in Jesus, for example, and we hold that. Excuse me. Sorry, Jesus. I won't talk bad about you. But we hold this belief about Jesus, and then we really cut ourselves off. We justify it, and then that in itself, I don't think is bad to believe in Jesus or have some heart connection. But to say I believe in Jesus and that all white people should be prioritized over everybody else or something like that, then and you're holding on to that with conviction too, and you're piggybacking on religion to justify your kind of fallacious and insincere view. So this is why beliefs can be so dangerous. Religious and spiritual hierarchies and supremacies can be so dangerous, and why Dzogchen is free of beliefs. It's totally free of that. You cannot use Dzogchen to say we're better than you because of Dzogchen. Unlike with religion, even Buddhism, which gets used as a moral high ground so much now. We're Buddhists. We got the religion that's right, the one that got it right, the most compassionate religion. And I'm not trying to hate on Buddhists, okay? But just remember that happens to our minds, right? Yes, and Maya's saying enlightenment is not becoming anything, right? Otherwise, that would be a huge contradiction in the Dharma, because enlightenment is known to be unconditioned. So how can you cultivate it? How can you create it? So it says what has substance and what lacks substance are equal in basic space. So phenomenon and noumena there. Noumena is it noumena? I'm seeing it pronounced different. Maybe noumena. So Buddhas and ordinary beings are equal in basic space. Relative and ultimate reality are equal in basic space. And guess what basic space is? That's Rang Rigpa. So there are no two truths distinctions in Rang Rigpa. Flaws and qualities are equal in basic space. You see that, everybody? We can keep this recording. I know I spoke a little vulgar earlier, but it doesn't matter because it's Dzogchen. No, it's fine. It wasn't that bad, but I think sometimes we try to edit ourselves and censor ourselves. When it comes down to the highest teachings, we have to let ourselves be ourselves a little bit too. It's fun to be skillful. It's fun to see when you're being silly, when you're being unkind or unskillful. But at the same time, we got to begin to find ourselves. That's why all the yogis are crazy, because they just let themselves be themselves. That's your painting, everybody. That's your rainbow painting, is who you are. So we can make friends with that. Even if I had no arms, no legs, one eye, and half a nostril, I would still love being this. It's still your mind. It could still be so precious. So anyway, up, down, all directions are equal in basic space. Therefore, when arising, things arise equally, without being better or worse. When abiding, they abide equally, without being better or worse. When freed, they are freed equally, without being better or worse. Although they arise unequally, they arise from the basic space of their equalness. Right on. So I think we can pause there, Yeshi. This goes on for a little while. So we'll end it at even as things are freed, they're freed in their equalness. So basically, like reflections in a mirror will never alter that mirror. And yeah, it's not like one thought has a different level of freeing than another thought. So anyway, thank you everybody. Thank you Yeshi and the group today for making this all possible. All your presence, wow, it's so amazing.